Guys, welcome back to Sarasota Discovered. Building a homestead. A lot of people are interested in this. Florida has an immense advantage over a lot of areas in the country as far as homesteading goes, and we could define homesteading as having a couple of acres, having the ability to have chickens, fields, maybe you want some cows, maybe you just want a garden, you want some space, you want a barn to keep your stuff at, larger properties. Florida's got a lot of advantages. We don't have to deal with crazy cold weather. We've got some rain in the summer that we've got to deal with. We can grow like 10 months out of the year. I mean, something is harvestable at least 10 months out of the year, as opposed to if you go up to like Northern Virginia or the Carolinas, you might have a much shorter growing season. And so if you're starting from zero, it's going to be a lot longer and harder to get to, 5 years in. And someone that starts in Florida on year 3 is going to be light years ahead of where someone in North Carolina is going to be at year 5. And so there's advantages there. Sarasota offers a lot of places that you can have acreage properties, anything east of I-75, which is what my wife Sarah and I specialize. We sell things east of 75. We live east of 75. And then further out into Arcadia, which is I think the best up and coming small town. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at some point in time to see Arcadia the best small town in Florida or on a magazine, because it's quaint. It's got the little ice cream shops. It's got the old 1800s buildings. It's got the old train station. It's got the nice park. It's got nice municipalities. It has all those things, but you can also find 5 acres for way cheaper than you can find it in Sarasota. Manatee has some options, but anything east of I-75 typically is where your land is going to be. A couple things that Sarah and I learned when we started building our property. We bought raw land. We had to clear it. I have a land clearing company, so I was like, no big deal, I can do this. It took, in between working for customers' projects and then working on our own projects, maybe you have a job, my friend, we just sold him 5 acres off of 60, a little bit south of 60. So he's a little north of Sarasota, but he just bought 5 acres and he's now struggling with this where he's like, I have a full-time job and I still want to work on my property, so maybe I'll have to hire someone to do it. So there is that. If you buy a house with a structure on it, or land with a structure on it, I think that's the way to go at this point in time. Building has been tough. I mean, we're in the middle of a building project, and getting contractors and getting consistent pricing in materials has been rough. And if you're going to finance the house, going from a building loan, which would be 7.5%, 8%, when the construction completes, you have to move that into a traditional mortgage. Well, the interest rates on those traditional mortgages right now may be 5-6%, but by the time you finish that house in 1.5 to 2 years, depending on the drafting process, the submitting the paperwork to your local county, and then actually getting completed and paying your final, impact fees and whatever tax may be done, the part where you get a certificate of occupancy for the structure, might be 3 years from now, and the interest rates may be even higher than the construction rate. So you've got to keep that in mind when you're building something. It's not a huge problem. It just depends on how much you're spending. If you go and buy an existing house that's already ready to go, you can lock in the interest rates of what they currently are. If they lower, you can always refinance and get into a lower interest rate, but you can immediately get into the garden and all the stuff that you want to do by owning the land. All of the reason that you bought the land in the first place, you can just get into it now. You don't have to deal with the construction process, which will delay that process at least 2 years from the time that you start the designing to the time you move into the structure. More likely, probably 3 at this point in time. So east of 75, definitely the spot to be looking at. Arcadia, really, really interesting. Manatee County has a lot of stuff. If you're interested in knowing what properties are available and when they're available, jump on the phone. Sarah's number is listed below. She can pull up a list of all the ones that would meet your budget and criteria and just send you an activated list. She's also got the ability to build you out a list, and when properties come on the market, you'll get an automated email. So you're not having to go through, Zillow or anything like that to constantly be trying to check for new listings. You can just sign up and new listing, she can get you over to that one. So from our own experience, we're happy that we started building the house, but we probably, buying a house is a strong case study, especially at this point in time, for having bought a house, maybe done a little bit of fix-up work on it, and then immediately gotten into the property. So until the next one, we'll see you guys down in the comments below. Our number is below, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.